Hello, welcome, and thank you for being a judge for the State 4-H Public Speaking Contest. My name is Brad Anderson. I'm a state specialist with Missouri 4-H, and this is just a very informal video just to cover some of the things that we're going to talk about at the judges meeting at 8:30 in room 211. If you're not able to make it, this will be better than missing it completely, and if you are able to make it, this might give you some food for thought in the meantime. First of all, thank you so much for being a judge. We all know as adults how important communication skills are. It's easy to maybe take that for granted sometimes. These young people, maybe you've heard it, but what we're doing is something that will probably benefit them for a lifetime, and they probably don't know the enormity of it just yet. So thank you for making it possible. The purpose of this event really is to build communication skills. It's to give them real-world experience in using those skills. And most importantly, it's designed to help them become more enthusiastic about getting better as they go through life and build those skills. So the tone we set is very inclusive. It's not a cutthroat competition. It's very much a developmental experience. We are wanting everybody to do their best, and we're rooting for them all the way. Most important thing you need to know, at 11:30 this afternoon, well, Saturday afternoon, we will have box lunches available for our judges. It's just a very small thank you, but it's going to be a room 11, so you might want to make that note. I want to talk a little bit about logistics and roles. This event takes place at Middlebush Hall on the MU campus. It's a lovely building, very modern and chic, and the rooms they vary. Some rooms are a little more modern than others. Some rooms probably haven't changed since the 60s all that much, but they're all very functional and they'll work for us. If you have tech-assisted speaking that you're working with, all rooms do have a LCD projector built in. The switch may be on the wall, it may be in the closet, it may be hiding under a door somewhere, but there is a switch to turn it on and hook it up to a computer. We will have a computer available, but there may be some people who bring their own. That's fine. However, we do not have dongles for Macs, so there will need to either be a PC or just use the one that we have. Otherwise, we'll probably have some problems making that work. Okay, at the judges meeting, you will give a packet. If you're not at the judges meeting, or if it's later in the day, before you go on in your session, you'll receive a packet when you check in at the tabulation room, room 10, bottom of the stairs at Middlebush, first floor, basement level rather, and it is a packet that has several things in it. You'll have score sheets, one score sheet per participant, and they look sort of like this, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, and hopefully I haven't lost my autofocus here. We'll also have a timekeep card. You'll have a list of names of youth who are in your section, which is your room, and those sorts of things. So information, you'll also have a set of stickers with all their names, and what you'll do is take this name off the sticker and then put the sticker right there, and then we'll know which young person this scorecard is in reference to. And there will be one for each judge. And if you mess up, that's okay. There will be extras in there as well. Timekeeper judges, you will have a very similar looking score sheet. You may just be comfortable being a timer. That is absolutely fine. If you'd like to contribute some comments as well, your scorecard looks a lot like this. The only difference is there's not a score at the bottom and there's not rankings at the bottom. You don't have to score because you're busy keeping time, but you can still provide insights and feedback that will help that young person as they try to become a better speaker or a better performer, and that is very, very much appreciated. So it's just an option you have, something to think about. If you get into your room and you realize that, oh my gosh, I know this kid, or there could be a number of reasons there's a conflict of interest of some kind. What we do in those cases is just switch the young person to a different room in the same section and category. You can also switch yourself if there's like 4 of them and you realize, oh hey, I'm their bus driver or whatever. We just want to make sure that everybody has a fair chance and there's no questions. Doesn't happen very often. If it does, the judges in the rooms just kind of handle it amongst themselves. We make sure to write it down, let the tab room know, and that's it. When you get to your room, you want to welcome everybody, create just a warm, inclusive environment. You want to let them know that you're really rooting for all of them and it's just about doing their best. You can choose orders in any way. You can draw for order, you can do it randomly, you can go reverse alphabetical. It doesn't really matter, there's not a wrong way. But once they give their speeches, you're judging the speech and your co-judge is judging also. It is so important to fill out those comments. That's the most important part of this whole process. We have to do scoring and so on because it's a contest, but these comments that you provide are going to be what helps them get better. Those comments are going to be what the parents read, what they read, and what they base their next efforts on. So please take some time, give it some thought, and really just make sure that you're giving each person some really positive feedback. Again, we're not looking for biting criticism or anything like that, obviously, but some things that you saw that they could improve upon and strengths that you saw they could build upon. Those things will help them so much. We ask that you don't share notes or don't talk to each other about it until your scores are done. After you're done scoring all of the speeches, then you go back over and look at the ranks. And there's a place on this card for the ranks. And you want to see what is their ranking overall. The reason is sometimes we score the first one, and by the time we get to speaker number 6, we realize, oh my goodness, I scored that one way too harshly, or I should have been more lenient, or I should have been harsher at the first one because the rest were even better. You can go adjust your scores, but you need to get your ranks down as individuals so that you can make sure that the person who's the best speaker, the second and third and fourth best, are all noted that way. Now your ranks may be different than your partner judge. That's okay. Put your score sheets all in the envelope that'll come with it. Take it back down after the session's over to the tabulation room, room 10, and give it to them. And it's really important that the judges both come down and stick around for a second because occasionally there are ties. There may be two kids who are both have the same scores and the same rank, and then they'll just ask you to decide between yourselves how you want to play that and which one's going to be first and which one's going to be second. Usually the top 3 people in each room are going to advance to the semifinals anyway, so it's just important that they get that information from you and that you don't just take off until they're absolutely certain they don't need it, because it might make a difference who moves on. We have a tabulation room that I've mentioned. I don't know if I've explained it. The tab room is where all the scores are kept, so you don't have to tell the speakers in your room, you got first, you got second, you got third. You get to just write those scores down, put them in the packet, take them down to the tab room. The tab room will do all of that. They will add up the scores. They'll announce the scores in the auditorium of Middlebush Hall there on the big screen. So that's not something you have to deal with or stress about. That's why it's so important to get the comments done, get the scorecards done, and get the rankings done, again, without discussing it with your fellow judge. If you are judging a finals competition, we want to make sure that they know that the first place finisher will be giving their speech at the awards assembly in the afternoon. So that's just something they need to know, be prepared for. If they're technical assisted, they're going to need to have their speech on the flash drive with them. And if they are interpretation or whatever else, they'll just need to be prepared. No pun intended. Okay, finally, if you are in an extemporaneous room and you're judging extemporaneous speaking, this is one of the most popular categories because it's kind of like working without a net. There's a higher risk level involved, and that attracts a lot of youth. We want to make sure that you know that if you're a timer judge in this one, you may probably be called a runner for this one session, because your job is to get them from the room to the room that they compete or prepare their speech in and come back. Extemporaneous, what you're doing is drawing 3 topics out of a hat, or an envelope in our case, and then picking one, and then you have 15 minutes to write a speech. So after you get to the room, you do introductions, you'll randomize the order or pick the order somehow. The first person will be able to go to the waiting room and start working on their speech. Everybody kind of waits because it's just the nature of the game. The time limits for youth in this competition depend on how old they are. If you're judging a room of juniors, 8 to 10-year-olds, it's going to be 3 to 5 minutes. If you're judging a room of intermediates, which are the 11 to 13-year-olds, it's 4 to 6 minutes. And if you're judging a room of seniors, which are the 14 to 18-year-olds, then it'll be 5 to 7 minutes. Now the upper limit of that is going to be important if you are in extemporaneous speaking, because it's going to be how you stage the speeches. Here's how it happens. You all go to the room, you introduce yourself, you welcome everybody, kind of set the tone, and then you draw the first person and give them a chance to pick 3 topics, and then they select one. The runner, or timer, or doing both double duty probably, will take them to the waiting room, and that'll be on your schedule. The waiting room is where they will start working on their speech. We have them in a single room because this is a room where there's no parents. We ask that there's no technology. It's okay if they have their phone in their pocket if they're seniors, but we don't want them Googling things because this is something that they should be able just to reflect on their own experience and create a speech from. At the end of the upper minute, so if it's a intermediate, 4 to 6 minutes, at the 6 minutes you're going to select the next person, and they're going to go to the waiting room and pick 3 topics, select one. They have 15 minutes, and then 6 minutes later the third person go to the waiting room, select their topic, and so on. What this does is that when the 15 minutes is up for the first speaker, they come back, give their speech, they can stay in the room, and then 6 minutes later the second person comes back, and 6 minutes later the third person comes back, and so on. And that way we get it done as quickly as possible. It's not ideal because you are kind of waiting for 15 minutes to begin with, but that's just the nature of extemporaneous speaking, and it's strangely popular. So hopefully this will be helpful information and makes sense. We can cover it more in the judges meeting at 8:30 in the morning on Saturday. If you have any questions, and you're welcome to email me as well. andersonb@missouri.edu. Now, if you have any questions on the category rules, you can check my email, number one, but you can also find it online. If you go to 4h.missouri.edu and then click on Projects and Opportunities, then click on Arts and Communication on the left, then click on State 4-H Public Speaking Contest, you will see the rules, the categories listed on the left, and then you can click each one and you'll get the rules for those categories. It's kind of a good thing to brush up on. You will have copies in your packets, but it's really hard to see it for the first time and absorb it all. It's really good if you can have a chance to look at it in advance, then just refer back to it at the event in case you have any questions. That's about it. Again, thank you so much. Without you, this contest doesn't happen. This contest is completely dependent on volunteer judges who are caring adults and very competent people, and we really appreciate you so much. You're making a difference in lives of youth across the state, and we have 104 youth who are coming from across the state to be a part of this experience. You can only imagine how nervous they are. You're going to see a lot of different reactions to that. Some will be very shy, some might be too cool to be there. You might think about how you react to anxiety, but you will have a lot of anxiety in the room. You'll also have a lot of relief when it's over, and you'll have a lot of gratitude from the parents because you're the person providing that safe environment that helps their child through this experience and helps them grow. So you will be a hero by the end of it, and I think you're going to find it's a really good experience. I appreciate you. Missouri 4-H appreciates you. And please let me know if I can answer any questions. Again, andersonb@missouri.edu. And I'll look forward to hearing from you, and I'll look forward even more to seeing you on Saturday. Take care.